Hey guys, it's Rick. It is time for more reviews. We're into the second week of May, part 2 of the May reviews. I mentioned in the last review video, we're doing 5 this month because I watched a ton of movies the last week of the month. So I'm going to split that week up into 2 parts. Let's dive in. A few physical titles to talk about. The first 2 titles, actually. And the first title is a movie I heard a ton about. Won the Best Foreign Language Film Oscar at this year's Academy Awards. And it's a film called Another Round, which stars Mads Mikkelsen there. Director Thomas, I'm probably not going to pronounce this right. It's Vinterberg, but I'm sure it's pronounced different than that. So this is an interesting movie. It is a story about 4 friends who are all teachers, and they embark on an experiment that the one guy has read about to see if a constant level of alcohol in your system, because your body is below the average, so you have a 0.05 blood alcohol content, which is, it seems like total bogusness. And so they do it only during the week, and there's a cutoff time where they have to maintain a certain alcohol level to see if it improves their work, their relationships, social aspects, and it's an interesting story. And rumors are that Leonardo DiCaprio is actually in the process of doing an American version of this. This movie is in Danish. It is a Danish film. So if you're not a fan of subtitles, it's not going to be for you. But subtitles, I've actually watched a lot more foreign movies in the last couple years than I ever have before. I used to be bothered by reading the film, but I've become used to it to an extent. Plus, a lot of times when I watch a movie, I'll put subtitles on anyway, so I guess my brain's kind of already trained for it. But it's very interesting. It's a dark comedy. There's definitely comedic parts. It's pretty fascinating. You see what happens to 4 characters. They all have different results to the study. They keep increasing the alcohol consumption level to the point where they have to stop it. Yeah, so it's drinking Monday through Friday until 8 p.m., not on the weekend. So it also features a very interesting look at alcohol use in, Europe, in Denmark primarily, where there's kids that are drinking. There's this thing where they have a case of beer. It's in the beginning of the movie. They have a case of beer and have to go around this lake, and they have to drink every so often. And, it was really interesting. I really enjoyed it. The movie's 2 hours, an hour and 56 minutes in a foreign language, and I was entertained throughout. Bridget really liked it as well, and it just kept my attention, which for a foreign language movie, if I'm not sucked in by the plot, it could be really tough to get through. I've had that experience a couple times, but this one was really good. If they make an American version with Leonardo DiCaprio, it'll be interesting because there's kids in high school that are drinking. It happens, but not to the normalcy that happens in this movie. So, and I feel like alcohol use is probably different there in Denmark than it is in here. So I'm interested to see what they would do with the plot. But yeah, seeing teachers drinking during the day and how they try to hide it and how it affects them, it's interesting and entertaining. Definitely staying and making the shelf. It's a 4 out of 5 for me. I recommend checking out Another Round. I believe it is on Hulu now to stream. It is available on Hulu. So Another Round, check that one out. Next is another Blu-ray that I watched, and it was part of my Leonardo DiCaprio movies to watch. I'm down to 2 movies to watch. One is J. Edgar, which I've heard things about, and the other is The Man in the Iron Mask, which wasn't on my list initially, but Dollar True Queen, Miss Jess, Joe, Bridget all said I need to watch Man in the Iron Mask, so I need to find it and watch that. I know it's on Shout Factory. It's pretty expensive, so I don't want to necessarily buy it. I might just rent it, but we'll see. But this movie that was on my list is Body of Lies, which stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Russell Crowe, and this was not a fan. This was rough. I was not a fan of this movie. So this was the only Leonardo DiCaprio movie that Bridget had never seen. She's seen the Critters movie with him, Total Eclipse, tons of stuff with him that I haven't seen. And it's a CIA terrorist drama action film. And it was very by the numbers. They had these weird like drone shots that just felt very dated. It was a Ridley Scott film, which had me intrigued. Leo's good in the movie, but the rest of the movie is just pretty meh. It felt so long. It's 2 hours and 5 minutes, I believe. It felt so long. Bridget, who doesn't, runtimes never bother her at all. And she was like, is this over? And we paused it. And it was only an hour and 5 minutes in. And we were like, oh my. Like, we even took like a break, got drinks, and used the bathroom. It was rough. So, Body of Lies, 1.5 out of 5. This is not making the shelf. This is leaving the collection. It was rough, guys. It was not a fun watch. So, I cannot recommend Body of Lies personally. As I mentioned in the last review video, I have access to Showtime and been trying to watch a bunch of stuff on there that I don't have access to. Otherwise, I don't own or want to blind buy. So the next thing we watched was a film called Slice, which Bridget and I watched it together. Both went in with hopes of like a campy, fun horror comedy movie, and the premise just fell flat for me. Zazie Beetz is in the film, Chance the Rapper is in the movie, Paul Scheer. Basically, the movie offers ghosts, werewolves, and drug dealers, and it tried to be too serious almost in parts, and I wanted to enjoy it. I really, we went in we hope this is funny and just campy, and it just wasn't good. I think it's an A24 movie, which, more and more I know Joe and Jacob, Crazy Joe and Jacob, they say that A24 is pretty overrated. I'm almost to a point where it's such a mixed bag. I have a bunch of probably 1 and 1.5 star A24 movies, which I gave this a 1.5. But then I also have 4 and 5 star A24 movies. So it's A24 is not a guaranteed stamp of gold for me. I found that with Saint Maud, which a lot of people praised, and I was not a fan of. And the next 2 movies were both A24 movies. And the first one I watched was also on Showtime. So was the last one, spoiler alert. It's a movie called The Rover, which stars Guy Pearce and Robert Pattinson. And it's basically about post-apocalyptic Australia. And Guy Pearce is this guy who gets his car stolen. And then he basically tries to recover his car. That is pretty much the premise of the movie. It's beautiful looking. It's very it's very pretty scenic desert. I know it sounds weird, scenic desert, but it's very pretty. It's a nice film to look at. Almost gave off like a Western vibes, and it's enjoyable because of the 2 leads performances, Guy Pearce as well as Robert Pattinson. The pacing's a bit slow in the movie, but I was intrigued throughout, and it's not a long runtime. I want to say it's like 90 to 100 minutes. But yeah, I was entertained. Not too much to say about it. I don't want to get into spoilers. A couple really startling scenes of violence, which were kind of wanted and needed because the movie is a slow-paced movie. But I give it a 3 out of 5. I thought it was enjoyable. And the last film we watched, Bridget and I checked this out, and I just watched The Rover by myself. Bridget didn't really have interest. It was a film called Laggies, and a really, really fantastic cast. I think I have some names down here, but Laggies was another A24 movie. And if you guys are curious, I do keep a running list on my Letterboxd, linked down below, where I rate all the A24 films that I watch and the A24 movies I still need to watch. And this one felt different for A24. It was almost like a mainstream romantic coming-of-age film. And the cast features Keira Knightley, Ellie Kemper, Jeff Garlin, Chloe Grace Moretz, and Sam Rockwell, who I praised. Oh no. When did I praise Sam Rockwell? Was it this video? I think it was the last video I recorded, my pickup video. So, yeah, it was a pickup video. But Sam Rockwell is fantastic. He's such a great actor. And I enjoyed the stuff with the school-age kids. So Chloe Grace Moretz's character and her friends. Keira Knightley has this weird side plot. She's engaged to Mark Webber from Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. And their relationship just feels very weird. And it just, I don't know. I didn't like that stuff. The drama between the adults in the movie was pretty annoying. Ellie Kemper acts like a teenager with Keira Knightley, who's her best friend. And there's this weird thing where she's opening a restaurant. And they have one scene where they sit in the restaurant and talk. And then the restaurant is mentioned later, but you never see it. Like, they talked about the grand opening. It just was weird, but the stuff with the kids was enjoyable. Sam Rockwell is fantastic in the movie. He plays a lawyer, a divorce lawyer, and he's just really good in it. And he's a supporting character in the movie, but still probably the highlight. I gave Lighties a 3 out of 5. So that is it, guys. That is everything from the second week of May watched. I will say the next video, the review video, I think I'm only talking, spoiler alert, I'm going to record that tonight. It's only 3 movies, so 2 streaming titles and a physical media title, but all newer titles to talk about. So a smaller video, and then I'll have a couple 6 movie reviews coming up in the following weeks. So thank you guys for watching. As always, it is appreciated. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Give this video a thumbs up if you did. Leave comments down below. Let me know what you guys have been watching. Also, be sure to check out the description box where you can find links to my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Letterboxd, where I rate and review all the movies I watch, my Blu-ray.com profile, eBay store, Amazon wishlist, email address, P.O. Box. All can be found down below. I'll also link to the trailer from Movie Hoarders, the documentary that I'm a part of, and pre-order spots for the film Movie Hoarders. It's available Best Buy, Barnes & Noble, Grindhouse Video, MVD Video, or MVD Shop. All have it for pre-order. It's coming out July 9th. Super excited. It's getting closer and closer. I think when this video drops, it'll only be like a week or 2 away. So thank you guys, as always, for watching. Until next time, who's down to movie?